Hello, it's Alex, the Booktubus. I am making this video today. It's been a while since I've filmed anything. It's been a few weeks since I've uploaded any videos, and yeah, honestly it's feeling a bit weird to be filming anything right now, so forgive me if I'm a little out of sorts. But yeah, I haven't been filming recently. I ended up taking a bit of an unplanned break from Booktube and mostly social media in general, and I just wanted to make this video to talk about some of the reasons why and what that means for the channel. I guess in a nutshell, I am hoping to continue the channel. I'm not sure exactly how and how frequently I'm going to be filming. And the reasons why I ended up taking a break were a combination of life stress in its various forms and my mental health not being particularly great recently. And I was just feeling really burned out from, the time I put into making videos. And yeah, I was just exhausted basically. I needed a break. I needed just a bit of time to take a step back, have a breather, and yeah, deal with the other stuff that I was having to deal with at the time. So I do want to go a little bit further into detail on those things. I don't tend to open up too much in my videos, I generally tend to just keep it about the books. But yeah, I haven't been having a great time recently, if I'm honest, and I just wanted to talk about it a bit here because I'm sure I'm not the only one that goes through these things. So anyway, before I get into the details, I did want to mention a couple of more positive things that have happened recently. One of which is I have a couple of written pieces go up on Ghouls magazine, which is an online horror site, and yeah, all of the horror goodness you could want. At the moment I have a book review for Water Shall Refuse Them by Lucy McKnight Hardy, which I read a few months ago and really enjoyed. And the other piece I have up currently is about the film Ms. 45, and yeah, the book review is definitely more detailed than my typically brief book reviews that I put up on Goodreads, but I don't think it goes into too much detail that it would give, exactly what happens in the book away. Whereas the one about Ms. 45, it's very spoilery, so I go through basically the entire plot of the film, so if you haven't seen it and you don't want to know, then probably avoid that one. But anyway, I will leave links to them below if you want to go check them out. If you have any comments, I would appreciate hearing from you about them. I have another one scheduled to go up, I think over the next week or two. Might be another book review, and probably a completely unsurprising book for me to pick to review. So anyway, I'll leave the links below if you want to go check them out. And another thing, which maybe isn't too exciting, but with some of the extra time I've had on my hands not filming and editing, etc., I was able to do a good spring clean at home, and one of those things involved taking all of the point horror books off the shelves, giving it a good dust down and putting them all back. And I decided to take a quick video while I was doing it, so roll the tape. Anyway, I just thought that was a fun little thing that I wanted to share with you. And yeah, speaking of which, you might notice that I'm back in my old filming spot. That's because we had a pipe crack in our basement. Our house is really old, so it's generally falling apart around us. So yeah, a good chunk of the basement floor had to be completely ripped up. and yeah, new pipe fitted and all of that jazz. It was very expensive, it was unexpected, and yeah, just kind of stressful really. So yeah, anyway, so that is all done and dusted, and yeah, basically just haven't really had the chance to get things set back up down there. So I figured I would just grab the camera and a light and film here. So it was easy enough to just get going. I was kind of determined to finally film something today. And yeah, anyway, here we are. But yeah, so I guess to move on and talk a bit more in detail about the not so cool stuff. And yeah, I don't really know where to start exactly, and this video will probably be fairly rambly. But yeah, I've just been dealing with some life stresses like the aforementioned financial stress, and yeah, the whole basement thing is not the only financially stressful thing we've had to deal with recently. And yeah, otherwise just dealing with work stress and ongoing health issue stress and just, I mean, general life stuff really, but sometimes all the things get bad all at the same time and it's overwhelming. So yeah, that's been, let's categorize that as just one thing. Other than that, yeah, I think I was just getting really burned out with filming videos and I needed to take a break. I think it had been brewing for a while, but I kind of didn't really realise it, and I just kept telling myself it's fine when it wasn't. You know, I've been doing this for a few years now and have been putting out one video a week, sometimes two, and I have a full-time job, so you know, I work that into my free time, which is limited, and you know, a good chunk of that has to be spent on adult responsibilities and other boring stuff that I'd rather not do but has to be done. And yeah, so my actual free time is not that great, and the fact that I was spending a large portion of that basically to make Booktube videos, it was just getting too much. And I know most of my videos, I try to keep them fairly short, you know, like 10-15 minutes is probably an average, but you know, they take way longer than 10-15 minutes to make. You know, they are hours of process, you know, to make a video, and it's a lot. And I think the thing is, I really enjoy talking about books, and you know, once I've put a video up, being able to chat in the comments with people, like that is, you know, the thing I really enjoy. But the process of filming and editing, like that's the stuff that is just so time consuming and it's so tiring. And yeah, I haven't been enjoying that process for a while, and I don't know like a way around that, because you know, that's not filming and editing is quite a big hurdle to get over if you want to actually have a channel. And I have always felt like a somewhat of a pressure to put out a video a week or whatever, and I always saw that as, you know, a pressure I put on myself, and I also saw it as a good kind of pressure. You know, it kind of kept me on track, it gave me a schedule to work with, and you know, I think they generally say, you know, with YouTube, consistency is key, and so I just got into the routine of filming once a week, and that's just how it's been for so long, and so it's just become like such a part of my routine that I just never really considered straying from it, if that makes sense. And I know this is like completely my choice of what to do with my time, you know, no one is asking me to do any of this, it's completely up to me. But I think the thing with Booktube, or at least how I've found it, is that you do get sucked into it, and you do feel like if you suddenly don't carry on with what you have been doing for so long, it's all going to crumble down around you and it's all going to have been a waste of time. And you know, I don't think that is what's going to happen, but I don't know, just it's one of those things that you, I guess, subconsciously think about, and so you just want to stick with what you've been doing and keep doing it in order to, you know, appease the YouTube gods or whatever. But yeah, basically a few weeks ago I decided to take the weekend off. I was like, I just need a break. And while it was a good thing to just be able to do some other stuff with my time, it also has then since then been quite difficult to want to get back into it. Having that time off really gave me the opportunity to take a step back and kind of reevaluate how I feel about YouTube and my channel. It also really made me value my time, which again, you know, I know it's my choice what I do with my time, but I hadn't really thought about it. Like I said, I'd got into such a routine of doing Booktube so often that I never considered not doing it. Basically, I had reached the point where I just wasn't enjoying making videos anymore, and it actually was kind of upsetting to come to that realization. You know, this is something that I've enjoyed doing for a really long time, and there have definitely been times when I haven't been enjoying it, but I've gotten through them and I've gotten back into it. But yeah, I just was not having a good time, and to realize that and be like, wow, if this isn't who I am, you know, anymore, then who am I? And I think for quite some time now I've just been telling myself, yeah, Alex, you enjoy this. Of course you should keep doing this because you enjoy it, don't you? Really inside, I am just not feeling great about it. And, you know, it's for many different reasons. You know, one is the time issue. Like, I wish I could just sit down for 10 minutes and film a 10-minute video and that's it. But I just can't talk at length coherently like that. You know, I end up filming a lot and then editing it down, and that whole process takes a really long time. And also I overthink everything, so that factors into it as well. And I don't want this to be the end of my channel, I really don't. I want to be able to enjoy it again, but I think at the moment I'm just in that phase of like, I want to rather than actually want to film. And yeah, it's not a great place to be. I think it's probably a good thing that I realised that and have taken a break, but I don't really know what that means moving forward. You know, I decided I'm going to film today, and I'm going to actually try out something different and try and film a few videos today, which I can then put up over a few weeks. And I guess we'll see how that goes. Maybe it's something that I just end up filming once a month and I only do one video a month. It might be that I film once a month but I manage to film a few videos. I really don't know at this point. I'm hoping that at some point I'll just get my mojo back and I'll get my enthusiasm for it back and things will, you know, be kind of back to normal, but I really don't know. I don't want to force it though, so it's just something I'm gonna have to play by ear, and yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. And to talk a little bit about mental health issues, and you know, I've kind of partly touched on that just now with feeling burned out and the pressures to put content out and stuff like that, whether, you know, even if they're self-imposed pressures, they can still be, you know, harmful in that respect. And yeah, I mean, I think social media in general can be quite a toxic place and can, yeah, not do good things for your mental health, basically. You know, and I think there's definitely a few things that I've been dealing with that have affected me in not a good way. And, you know, these aren't things that I'm only just experiencing, you know, these are things that I have experienced for a period of time. And even, you know, even before social media was a thing, these are things that I have had to deal with. But yeah, I just feel like they're the kind of things that, you know, with depression and anxiety and just all the insecurities and feeling that you're worthless, basically, and, you know, they all feed into, I don't know where I'm going with this thought even. I think what I'm trying to say is that they're not necessarily Booktube specific, they're just, you know, life in general, but they have affected me, you know, Booktube wise, I guess. And yeah, I mean, one of those things is, yeah, just feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you are inadequate and worthless, and, you know, it makes you feel like, well, what is the point in any of this? What is the point in even trying? Because whatever I do, it's not going to be good enough. And, you know, I put like so much time and effort into these videos, and if there's one thing I've learned about YouTube is that that means absolutely nothing. You know, YouTube is just an absolute crapshoot. You know, I don't understand who gets popular and why. I mean, I do to a certain degree. You know, I very much realise that a channel like mine is fairly niche. You know, it's definitely not going to have mass appeal. So even from the get-go, you know, I knew my audience was going to be somewhat limited. But it is just kind of disheartening at times when, yeah, you put so much time and effort into something and, yeah, you just feel like, I don't know, not that no one cares, because I know I have lots of really awesome viewers out there who do care, and I really do appreciate it. But yeah, sometimes you feel like you're talking into a void or something, and you just wonder, like, why am I doing this if no one's listening, kind of thing. You know, why am I doing this? And again, I don't mean that absolutely no one is listening. You know, I do appreciate the people that are, but yeah, again, don't know where I'm going with that thought. But I guess it feeds into like the whole popularity contest of things, and feeling like because of the amount of subscribers you have that you're not doing good enough, basically. I try not to worry about the numbers, but YouTube itself just doesn't make it easy, I think, especially for small YouTubers, because they, you know, you can't go into YouTube Studio without seeing the numbers, like especially your subscriber count and like how your latest video is doing. And, you know, very occasionally I might look into the analytics, but it doesn't really mean anything to me. You know, I think they're there for people who try to tailor their content in order to be more popular or whatever. Whereas, yeah, the people that just make the videos they want to make, I don't think that's particularly helpful. But yeah, the fact that they're constantly like, here's your subscriber count, guess what? You've got less subscribers in the last month than, you know, your average. Cool, thanks. And then it'll tell you about your latest video. It'll be like, guess what? Out of the last 10 videos you've done, this one's the worst. You're like, okay, thanks again, that's cool. Really encouraging, thanks YouTube. And I get it. They as a business want to make money off people, and they're not going to care about the little channels. They just want people to make popular stuff that gets the views and gets the revenue. So, you know, I get it, but it's still just, it can be like really depressing, quite honestly, when it constantly forces that kind of information down your throat. It's inescapable, really. And that brings me on to another point, which is the whole popularity equals success idea. And I do feel like you can define your own success to a certain degree, but it can be difficult, you know, when you're constantly bombarded with numbers and stuff. It can be hard to ignore them completely. And I think one of the things I've been struggling with recently is trying to separate that idea of the numbers don't matter, but not having that filter into what I'm doing doesn't matter. I feel like I've spiraled into like a hole of just feeling like none of what I do matters, and why should I even bother, because it's all pointless. And, you know, these are feelings that I've definitely had before. There's been probably quite a few times over the years when I've considered just packing this all up and never making a video again, never going on social media again, and just becoming like a full-on recluse. But for whatever reason, you know, I keep coming back to it. And but yeah, I think recently that idea and that feeling has just been something that I've been having a hard time with, and having a hard time like blocking out, you know, and getting over that feeling. I've kind of just been stuck in that hole for a while. And while we're here, I'm also going to touch on that whole idea of beauty equals value and importance. And again, this is something that is not made by social media, but I think has been emphasized by it. And, you know, honestly, it sucks to feel that you are less than just because you aren't pretty or whatever. Is such a bizarre and stupid idea to place so much value and importance on the way people look, as though people deserve praise for just looking a certain way, whereas someone that looks a different way is, you know, can be treated poorly because of it. And, you know, I have never had a particularly great relationship with the way I look. My face and my body image, yeah, have never been particularly great over the years. And I think in more recent years, as I've gotten older, I would say that I don't think I have like grown in confidence per se, but I've definitely been embracing a bit more of a I don't care attitude, which isn't quite the same thing. And even then, I still have those days or weeks or whatever where I just feel really insecure about the way I look. But yeah, I know, yeah, like I said, this is kind of rambly. I haven't planned this video, I'm just like throwing out my thoughts as they come into my head. And I know a lot of this is just, that's part of putting yourself out there on YouTube, you know, it's part of the culture and everything. And like I say, you know, none of these things that I'm mentioning here are new. You know, these are things I've dealt with over a really long period of time and for years before Booktube as well. So it's nothing new, and these are the kind of things that, you know, sometimes something will just bother me in the moment and then I'll get over it. Sometimes it might bother me for a couple of days and then I'll get over it. Sometimes they can bother me for longer than that, and I think that's what I've been dealing with recently. Like I said earlier, I've just been kind of feeling like I'm stuck in that hole and I haven't been able to get myself out of it yet. Actually, that brings me onto a thing that I thought I'd mentioned already, but I don't think I did. But yeah, comparing yourself to other people, my God, such a shitty place to be, and I have been there multiple times over the years. And yeah, that is another thing that has been kind of keeping me in that hole that I mentioned, comparing myself to other people, and yeah, just feeling like I am not good enough in any respect compared to them, and that I never will be good enough. And so yeah, I've already kind of touched on that feeling, but I don't think I'd mentioned it specifically with regards to the comparing yourself to others thing, but I'm sure many of us end up doing that, and yeah, it's really not a fun place to be. And anyway, at the end of last year, when I was, you know, looking ahead to 2021 and kind of coming up with some channel goals and stuff, you know, I did consider like starting a Patreon or something, because I know quite a few fellow booktubers have done that and have seemed to had, you know, success with it. But you know, I think with that, you know, you have to be providing extra content for the patrons, and like I just am struggling to find the time and energy to film, you know, regular booktube videos. There's like no way I would be able to devote more time and energy. So yeah, that completely rules that out. And yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I think there are two reasons, you know, people should do YouTube. One is that you enjoy it, and the other is that you are at a level when you are, you know, earning something financially from it and able to support yourself through it. So essentially a job, which, you know, you might also enjoy. It might not just be like a chore, but yeah, I'm definitely not in that category. I can only be in the enjoying it category, and yeah, just recently I haven't been enjoying it, so it's like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I putting myself through all of these like stresses and anxieties, and, you know, really emphasizing my insecurities and making me feel like shit, basically. Why am I doing this? And I hope I can deal with this stuff. I hope that making this video and talking about it and just kind of like getting this stuff off my chest will help with that. I hope that I can get over it, basically, and you know, and it's not like one of those things that I'll get over it and then that'll be the end of it. These are the kind of things that crop up from time to time, and you know, you just have to deal with it. And you know, I'm the kind of person that, while I know there are people out there that support me, and I really, really appreciate that, I'm the kind of person that just has to deal with these things by myself. And yeah, I don't know, again, I'm rambling and don't know where I was really going with that thought, but yeah, I do hope I can get to a point where I'm enjoying this again, and if not, then I guess I'll just, you know, play that by ear. You know, I feel like if I were to quit doing this, you know, that's fine. You know, I think I would miss it. I think, you know, I don't think anyone else would really care. And I mean that in like the nicest possible way. But like, there are so many other booktubers out there. There are so many awesome booktubers out there that I don't think little old me would be missed or anything. But I would definitely miss being a part of the community here. Anyway, I should probably wrap this up. I feel like this video is going to be super long, so if you're still here, then hello. And yeah, I guess two other things actually I wanted to mention, which are on a slightly more positive note. One is, during this whole time, even though I've not been having a great time, I've still been reading like a maniac. So yeah, the things I've been going through haven't affected that in any way. In fact, I think I have been reading more because I haven't been spending time filming and editing and all of that jazz. So yeah, I've been reading a lot, it's been great. And the other thing is, even though we've just established that, you know, the numbers don't mean anything, that I'm actually getting close to 4,000 subscribers, which is quite a milestone. And I am hoping to finally do a bookshelf tour at some point. So that might be a fun way to celebrate that. Or if there is something else you would like to see me do to mark the occasion, feel free to let me know. Maybe a Q&A or a giveaway or something. You know, let me know what you think, and we'll see what I can do. Yeah, I don't know really what I'm expecting from this video. Like, I'm really just doing it to do it and to be honest about the way I've been feeling and my experience. You know, I never feel very comfortable asking for like subscribers and likes in videos. I know most people do it, and I don't know, I feel so awkward and uncomfortable doing that, so I never do that, but I'm gonna mention it here. Subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, these are the things that do really help a video and in turn a channel. So if you do want to support me in this channel, then I would really appreciate it if you do any of those things. I didn't know how to start this video and now I don't know how to end it, so I will just say thank you ever so much for watching. Hopefully I will see you again in my next video, whenever that may be. Bye.